Hello, my creatures of night. It is I, King Beanie, and today we're gonna see what happens further on in 2010. Because with our story in 1999, well, we'll figure out what happened to Mr. Bear. Update May 8th, 2010. Last month, I finally got my G2 license. In Ontario, Canada, this allows you to drive in a car by yourself, as well as some passengers after 6 months. I, of course, took advantage of this and drove into Caledon for a little Sunday drive. Since I haven't updated this blog in a while, I figured I might as well visit the house, where the last infamous channel of my childhood was located. The house looked different than when I last saw it in October. The place was no longer used as a daycare, and just sat there, abandoned. However, it did have a for sale sign, showing that someone still owned it. Wanting to get rid of it, though. The abandoned house drew fuzzy memories from my mind, mainly of that day my dad took me to visit Mr. Bear. A feeling of dread came upon me. What happened to the children while they were living inside that house? I walked up the steps to the front door and peered through the window. Inside, I could see a nearly empty hallway with a few boxes at the end. At the end of the hallway, to the right was an open doorway, presumably leading to the kitchen. To the left were 2 doors, both apparently leading to rooms visible through the windows outside. I wondered where the cellar entrance was located, whether it had been sealed up. I walked around to the back and found my answer. 2 wooden doors, lying at an almost flat angle, were padlocked shut. This had led to the cellar. Not wanting to hang around, you can imagine what was going through my mind at the time. I departed behind the house. The empty field continued on until it reached the dense forest that lined the horizon. I wondered if that was the forest where the bodies of the children were found. I thought to myself, fuck it, and proceeded to walk across the field behind the house. The forest was oddly quiet, save for a few periodic sounds of woodpecker drilling. I cautiously made my way deeper into the woods, not really caring about the fact that I had no idea where I was going. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like there was something I had to find. I came to a thinner part of the woods and a few small houses in the distance. Poyo's house crossed my mind, and I wondered if one of these homes had belonged to him. I neared the small clearing, in which I could see 3 adequately sized logs gathered around a black charred area, showing a small fire had been lit there recently.
Hey! Get the fuck out of our fort!
Those words nearly gave me a heart attack. I turned to my left and saw 2 dark-clothed people running towards me. My initial thought was to run. However, as they came closer, I saw they were really just kids in their early teens, possibly 13 or 14, maybe even 12. As they approached me, they realized my size as well. I'm 6'1", while they could have been no bigger than 5'8". One might have been 5'7".
We said, get the fuck out.
The larger one, who was wearing a Slipknot shirt, said half-heartedly. I stood my ground and shrugged. The shorter one, who was wearing a Metallica shirt, swung out a butterfly knife and held it in my direction. No, you wouldn't want to, I said in a deep, serious tone, trying to sound as badass as possible. I pulled out my cell phone. The two kids withdrew, the one in the Metallica shirt putting away the knife.
Look, dude, we don't like people in our fort, so can you just go?
The one in the Slipknot shirt said, obviously intimidating. I had no business in the fort anyway, so I uttered out a simple, "Fine," and turned before I realized I had a great opportunity. Did either of you hear of a guy who murdered a bunch of kids in these woods about 13 years ago? I asked the kids. The two looked at each other in confusion. Before one, wearing the Metallica shirt, answered,
Yeah, everyone knows about that guy.
He said to me as if I were stupid. The kid in the shirt continued.
He still lives around here, in the storm drain. My big brother's friend says he saw him in a bear costume once, wandering around the forest at night.
My instincts told me this was probably a lie, and the owner of Caledon Local 21 is probably long gone, only existing as folklore in a smaller, isolated community. However, as a human, the thought of the mysterious unknown sparks interest within. And where's Storm Drain? I just asked out of curiosity. I don't actually believe the kid's story. The kid in the Metallica shirt stared at me for a few moments, his eyes seemingly full of annoyance yet curiosity for me.
You're not from around here, are you? Why did he even come here?
No, I do admit. I was slightly startled by the nature of his question. However, I figured I might as well explain why I was there, just in case people mistook my intentions. I told the two kids about my experience with the man at Caledon Local 21, and I had come to maybe seek out some sort of closure, although even I wasn't exactly sure. The kids seemed familiar with the channel, as they smiled and looked at each other when I mentioned it. They also became more understanding, and gave me a detailed description on how to get back to the storm drain. Shortly after, I decided to just turn around the way I came, and head back to the house, leaving the kids at their fort. But now you're probably wondering why I left out such a detail about what the kids told me just now. Is it because I'm choosing to conclude what I have gathered now? Here's what the kids told me in detail. The storm drain lies ahead of the kids' fort, the same direction I was heading. The storm drain ends at a small river, where excess water is drained out. Near here is a small playground. The kids told me people rarely use it. The man supposedly lives in the large pipe that rainwater drains out of. People have seen it, although always either wearing a bear mask or the mask in a full-body bear costume. Note, I don't believe this is true, and in fact simply a myth made by the residents of Caledon. The story does not seem plausible in any way. Why did no one call the police? Doesn't the sky look suspicious? And other questions like these leave the story invalid. I may visit the storm drain, not because I believe the story, but because I want an excuse to visit Caledon again, so this blog doesn't die. With no more tapes to watch, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Thank you for continuing to support me and my blog. I know many are looking forward to more information about what happened in Caledon during the year 1999, and I will do my best to continue my research on the topic. Elliot, out. Update, October 7th, 2010. Wow, nearly 5 months after I last updated. I'm guessing everyone pretty much thinks I was dead, right? Thankfully, I'm not. But in all my seriousness, I really have been busy these past few months. And a blog about something that could have killed me as a kid is a little low on my current priorities list. As of now, I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario, attending the University of Waterloo for computer engineering. Yeah, I'm a keener. As you can imagine, engineering is no walk in the park, so obviously I nearly forgot about this blog. But as you can see now, I am back. I remembered to visit the storm drain. The kids from Caledon Forest told me about it. It was out in a clearing between the wooded areas, nearby a marsh. Unfortunately, I found absolutely nothing, save for a turtle that retreated into its built-in home when it saw me. I snapped some pics of the pipe, which I've posted as well. And let me tell you, it was not a storm drain like they said it was. What I saw was a simple pipe, possibly to channel the access water from the marsh. When I returned to Caledon, however, I simply kept putting off uploading everything until I forgot about my recent blog. It just didn't seem important anymore. Please forgive me. It wasn't only until recently that I am now interested in my case again. On September 10th, I received an email from this address. returntheb@hotmail.com. Funny, am I right? Well, it gets better. I'm going to copy and paste the exact email this guy sent me. Dear Elliot, my dear boy. You see, the story may or may not have been true, but it could happen. There are many slots for airtime. If you have money, you can have a public access TV channel. Some public access channels share airtime like EWTN, religious channel based out of Michigan, much as Catholic-based programming. But during office hours have independent shows or just blue screen. Cable networks have empty channels available for rent space. So the scenario of a pedo renting a channel on basic TV is not as far-fetched as all. However, public access TV is widely reviewed and can be terminated at any time. So there are rules for the United States, not for Canada, where the story took place. So if this happened in the US, the pedo would have been tracked and arrested immediately. Yes, the story could happen, but it is unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear. Now,
sounds almost corrupted, but still, I would like to thank whoever sent it. Though they could use some English lessons. Just reading this letter creeped me out, but because of it, I'm now full of this new interest to continue my blog. I guess it's just funny trying to pursue the mysteries I've always questioned. Now my roommate knows about all this. He thought the letter was real, and actually seemed more scared than I was for a second. But then I shrugged it off, so he did too. I mean, what are the chances of this being real? How would Mr. Bear know all about this public access TV, about when I went to Caledon on those occasions? More or less, know my email, or me still be interested in his cellar. I'm going to send a reply to return the bee. Wow. Just looking at the email address, you can tell someone wanted to freak me out. It didn't really work, though. Although to whomever you are, thank you for sparking my interest back into the full matter. Maybe I can find out more about what happened to Mr. Bear. Hopefully, because although I don't buy that email, a part of me still feels anxious. Thank you to all who are still following me and become avid fans. You are also why I am choosing to continue this. Thanks, guys. Update, November 7th, 2010. Wow, I can't believe this blog hasn't been deleted yet. I haven't posted anything for so long. I have my reasons, and I'd rather not discuss them yet. It has been a rather traumatic year for me. Some of you were right. I shouldn't have gone back trying to relive the mysteries of my childhood. But I couldn't resist. It has been over a year since my last post, and a lot has happened. Let's recap where I am right now in regards to the whole Mr. Bear incident. Return the bee at hotmail.com is no longer in use. I tried replying to the email, but got no reply. I tried a while back, still no response. I actually moved up to Ottawa for university, so I haven't been back to Caledon or back home in the Peel region for a while. I have my reasons for leaving you, as you can guess why. I have to make a new email account because people keep prank mailing me, pretending to be Mr. Bear. Thanks a lot, guys. Why haven't I ventured back to this blog? Mitchell Wilson, remember my dad's ex-cop friend? Gave me a phone call on October 23rd about a tape that was found in the branch of the Brampton Public Library. Brampton is my hometown. In case you haven't picked up on that, he claims he isn't allowed to discuss the contents of the tape with me, as it is still in evidence. But he asked me to come check it out when I return home. The tape got the gears grinding again, because we all know what was on the last tapes I saw. I can only imagine what can be on it. I'm guessing it must have something to do with Caledon Local 21. I guess I just wanted to say I am continuing this blog, and thank you for everyone who still follows it. I don't know when my next entry will be, but when I see that tape, I'll write what I find. I don't know what to expect, but the idea of seeing another tape has got me interested in this mystery all over again. Elliot. Next week, hopefully we'll finish this story. As you see, that email could either be Mr. Bear or it could be a prank. But knowing how specific it was, I'm leaning to think it's Mr. Bear. Let's see what happens in 2011. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.